Our country is sitting on a gold mine of natural gas, and the federal government is now considering tapping these reserves and making big profits by sending them overseas. With more on what these exports could mean for our economy, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. She's the ranking Republican on the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Senator, welcome to the show. Great to have you here. This new study from the Energy Department says that this could mean, if we export nat gas, it could mean up to $47 billion in 2020 in exports. Tell me more about what this could mean for our economy and for your state, frankly.
Well, think about it from a balance of trade perspective. Wouldn't it be nice to be on the positive side of the equation for a change? And also from the jobs perspective, what we're seeing with LNG or natural gas exploration around the country, we are realizing that we have states that would never have considered themselves to be an energy producing state, and yet they're producing now, they're creating jobs. It is a net benefit to the economy, and that's what this energy report clearly established, a net economic benefit.
Well, you know, it's interesting. There are your detractors on this topic, including Congressman Edward Markey on the House Natural Resources Committee. He says that exporting natural gas will increase prices for regular Americans, maybe as much as a 30%. You agree with him? Does he have it right?
Well, there has been a fair amount of discussion about whether or not exports could actually push up that price to the individual consumers. But I think in fairness, what we need to understand is we're talking about an increase in terms of dimes, not dollars. And that's important to put it into context. Think about coal. We have been exporting coal from this country for decades. That has not increased the price of coal to consumers. No. So while there is fairness to the concern that we may see a slight increase, I think you need to put it into perspective. If there is incentive for producers to produce more here, not only do we see the economic benefit from the jobs, but as there is more produced here, that's going to work to reduce the overall cost to the consumer. So
I'll tell you what my real concern with this is, and you know, look, at the end of the day, every president since Eisenhower, I think, has talked about the idea of the U.S. being energy independent, right? We don't depend on anybody. Doesn't exporting, selling our energy, doesn't that put us in a worse position vis-a-vis energy independence rather than holding on to it and letting Americans use this energy right here at home?
Well, it would be part of the argument if we had severe limitations on how much natural gas that we have here in this country. They're now calling us, you know, the Saudi Arabia of natural gas in terms of what we are finding here in this country. And this is just in the lower 48. We're not even talking about the reserves that we have up in Alaska, which are enormous in terms of our conventional natural gas as well as our unconventional, like our methane hydrates. So the potential for us here in this country is huge, but we need to be allowed to access it.
Well,
otherwise,
two
the conversation's
questions on
irrelevant.
that score. When can we expect a decision on that, A? And B, are you sure it's going to be economical for the U.S. to export natural gas?
Yeah. Well, your second question really is one that we need to be looking at. There's a lot of hue and cry right now that there's all these folks that are looking to export our natural gas. In fairness, there are 15 applications before the Department of Energy. But fact is, getting to DOE with an application is one thing. It's clearly another hurdle to get through the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, the FERC, where you have to have your contracts lined up for sale. You've got to have the cost to actually export really is the factor that people are not looking critically at. It is billions of dollars to put a whole package together for export. So I think people need to look at this a little more critically and not jump to such quick conclusions that we're going to be sending all of our natural gas overseas tomorrow. It's just not going to happen.
Interesting thought. I have to ask you one other question. As you well know, there are going to be a record 20 women serving in the Senate. There are some people believe that this will miraculously change the tone of debate in Washington. Do you agree?
I think that more women doing good things is always a positive. So we'll see. But I'm optimistic that that having more female voices in the Congress is a positive.
Senator, thanks for coming on tonight. It's great to talk to you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. All right.